Somehow, we are already 3 months into 2025, and it's kind of crazy to me how fast these first few months of the year have flown by, which is why I thought I would use this new quarter as an opportunity to reflect on my resolutions, check in on my objectives, and maybe reset and reassess my routine accordingly so that I could stay on track. To kickstart this video, I thought it would be a good idea to just pick up my journal and read the resolutions that I set at the beginning of the year to see whether or not I've actually been consistent with them. My first resolution was to journal on a somewhat consistent basis, and looking back on my entries from the first 3 months of this year, I feel like I've done a pretty good job at this so far. I will say something that's helped me is scheduling some time as part of my Sunday reset to really sit down with my journal and set some goals for the upcoming week, and I feel like that makes me more likely throughout the week to actually pick up my journal and maybe answer a few prompts or just do some free writing. Next, I wrote that I wanted to complete a professional internship sometime this year, and while I didn't lock an internship into place, I did get in touch with some people and meet some people that I could potentially intern with in the future. Again, the timeline is still a little bit blurry and nothing is really locked into place or set in stone, but I have done a lot of work, reaching out to people and getting in touch, so I will give myself a pat on the back for that. My next goal was to become more financially literate, and then I wrote in parentheses, and to invest. And to be honest, I have not really done any work toward this goal. I at least wanted to pick up some book related to finance within the first quarter and get started educating myself in that field or just seeking out resources, but unfortunately I have not done any work towards that, so this is definitely an area where I could improve. Another resolution of mine was to read 40 books or more to keep up with my reading goal from last year, and to be honest, I was in a little bit of a slump at the beginning of the year. I didn't really read that consistently, and looking at my Goodreads reading goal, I am 4 books behind. However, I am confident that I'm going to be able to catch up, and in fact, I am reading right now and really in a good reading kick, so we're doing pretty good. Another goal of mine was to keep up a consistent weekly workout routine, and I do feel like I was kind of on and off with this goal. Some weeks I was really consistent with it, and then other times I would fall off a little bit, but I think what's important is that I just return to it and I don't completely give up at the slightest inconsistency. I've been booking workout classes here and there, but I think lately what's been really helping me is just remembering that any type of movement is good, even if it's just a short walk or a home workout. I feel like right now I'm at a point where I'm just trying to be consistent and it doesn't really matter what type of workout I'm doing. Another goal and objective of mine for 2025 was to cook more often and try out new recipes, and I feel like I've been doing a pretty good job at this goal, especially with my school lunches. I have been getting creative, and usually on Monday or at the start of the week I'll meal prep a big salad or some type of lunch for me that I can eat during the week, and that has led me to some new go-to recipes. I also wrote that in 2025 I want to stop letting criticism get in the way of my creativity. This is more, I guess you could say, of an abstract objective. It's not really something that's super easy to pinpoint, but I will say, because I've been consistently journaling, I've been often writing about the videos I'm working on and some ideas I have, and I feel like by writing it down and putting it onto paper, it actually really helps with dealing with some of the criticism that might come up from myself. And so just putting it onto paper and actually putting into word what that criticism might be and then responding directly to it in my journal has just been helping me kind of navigate that, and it's actually been really, really helpful when I feel stuck and just too in my head. I also wanted to maintain consistency on YouTube and expand into short form, and while I haven't really given much thought to short form because I've just been honestly struggling to keep up with consistent uploads here on YouTube, it is definitely something that's on my mind a lot going into the summer and knowing I'll have a little bit more free time. We're almost at the end of my list, but I wrote that I wanted to continue prioritizing my routine and avoid my phone, especially first thing in the morning and right before bed, and I feel like this is relevant. Actually, I think I talked about this a few vlogs ago, but I had this period of time where I was just going on my phone so much, especially right before bed, and it was actually cutting into my sleep schedule, and I was just I have to do something about this. I am wasting so much time, so I really took a step back, deleted some social media apps, and just had a bit of a detox for a few days, and I feel like that really helped me reset. My last resolution on here is to cut myself some slack and avoid pushing through when I feel burnt out, and looking back on the first 3 months of this year, I do think there were some times where I came close to feeling burnt out, but I do think I did a pretty good job at just taking a step back and, going into hibernation state and just resting. I feel like a big theme for me so far this year has been intentionality, and just looking back on like the vlogs I've made and what I've been journaling about, that's something that has come up a lot. Approaching my morning and night routine as an opportunity to get in the right mindset and prepare for the day or the night ahead has just been helpful in kind of reframing how I see those day-to-day tasks as just an opportunity to like take some time and show up for myself. On that note, I feel like I've kind of covered everything I had to say in terms of my resolutions and reflecting on my goals, and now we can move on to more of the reset vlog style part of this video, which I'm really excited for, because a big part of this quarterly kind of check-in is just to make sure that I'm feeling refreshed and reset to enter the next few months of the year. Good morning, everyone. It is the start of a new week, and I love me a fresh start, especially in the context of a quarterly reset. So usually whenever I start my week, I like to take some time and just look at my calendar, and lately I like to write down by hand like what I have coming up and just kind of plan out my week that way, set some goals, and also sort through my emails and my inbox. So that is what I am about to do. Over the past few weeks, I have definitely let my inbox like just pile on and have not really taken time to sort through it because I was really busy with school. To be honest, I feel like taking the time to respond and sort through emails can eat up a lot of valuable time on a day-to-day basis, which is why I am very happy to be partnering with Notion Mail for this portion of the video to talk about this new update and how it can help improve your workflow. As you may know, I am quite the Notion fan. I use them on a daily basis and literally recommend them to everyone I meet. I feel like it's the only way I keep my life organized and I can manage on my day-to-day. So when I found out that they were coming out with this update, I was very excited. Notion Mail is a self-organizing inbox that'll automatically sort through and label incoming mail based on what matters most to you. You just have to tell its AI what types of emails are priorities to you, and it'll automatically organize and label everything in your inbox for you in a matter of seconds. One of the features I love the most is how you can split your inbox into different custom views, and then you can toggle between them based on what you want to focus on. So for example, let's say you're working on job hunting right now and you're emailing a bunch of people for that. You can go to that custom view and find already all the correspondence that is going to match with that, so you don't have to like dig through your inbox to find them. This is especially helpful for me because I'm often switching between, I feel like, different parts of my brain, where 1 minute I'll be replying to my professors or reaching out for internships and I want to keep that in a separate, inbox almost, and then the next minute I am replying to brands and, thinking more about content updates. So having the opportunity to split that into custom views and just toggle between them just allows me to really focus on whatever is my priority at the moment. To help me with my replies, Notion Mail also has drafting shortcuts, so that way you never have to worry about writing the same email twice and you can save a lot of time. For example, if I'm doing some outreach and emailing different brands about collaboration opportunities, it's nice to already have a shortcut on hand with all of my analytics and channel links ready. And their AI can also help you craft a perfect reply if you're struggling to find the right words for what you're trying to say. All in all, Notion Mail has been a great addition to my workflow, and it's also super easy to set up. So if you want to try it out for yourself, you can head over to the link in my description and simply connect your Gmail to Notion Mail to get started for free today. Thank you again so much to Notion Mail for partnering with me, and now I'm gonna get started with planning out my week and just getting organized.
Tree, the last weekend of summer, the empire at our fingertips, the autumn to discover. If I would your eyes and tell me there's no other.
Hello everyone. We have now arrived to what I've decided is going to be my dedicated spring cleaning day. Not that I think I can get it all done today, but we will see how far I get. I feel like the idea of spring cleaning in theory is great. Like, I love the idea of just getting all of my summer clothes out, you know, cleaning out my closet, donating what I no longer wear. But then when it actually comes time for me to schedule spring cleaning, I always put it off and I dread it intensely. But I figured since I'm making this video, it's gonna give me the motivation and the extra little push I need to actually get it done. And I'm just gonna do my best to like make it as pleasurable as possible. I have an audiobook I'm gonna listen to, and we'll probably crack open an energy drink or something to give me, you know, a little bit of a boost to get through this. That is the plan so far. I already put my sheets in the wash and I'm gonna make my bed with my freshly cleaned sheets, which always makes me feel better. So looking forward to that, but then we will eventually have to take all of my summer clothes out and reorganize my closet, which I'm not really looking forward to. Okay, let's get to cleaning.
Could you catch me up here? Tell me what you felt. My head is filling bottles that keep falling off the shelves. Well, every word hit like a prism out of coat. There was wasted. I could see through every layer. This was heaven. I could taste it. Tapping on the counter, terracotta floor, voices warm and blended, weaving through the door. My skin was wide awake, so close I could hardly take it. Move quiet, bleeding into spiritual healing.
Hello everyone. It is day 2 of spring cleaning because I ended up starting pretty late in the day yesterday, so I kind of ran out of energy, but I did make a lot of progress with my closet. I actually pretty much finished going through like the clothes I had in there and deciding what I wanted to keep and what I wanted to donate, which was actually a lot easier than I thought it would be, because a lot of the clothes I ended up donating, I didn't even have to like think twice about it. I just looked at them and I was like, yeah, I have not worn this in months. So I'm gonna either donate or maybe try to sell them, but I feel like that's a lot of work and I don't know if I want to dive into that. We will see, but so far they're just like in a bag and I put them away. On the list for today, I want to finish tidying up my room. Not that there's much left. I mostly just want to vacuum and maybe clear this table here, like wipe down the dust, and also wipe down my mirror and windows. And then other than that, the main thing I want to tackle is the bathroom. I have to clean it every couple of months and like deep clean the drawer where we put all of our makeup and skincare, because that is what gets the most cluttered. Let's get to it. To finish off this spring reset, I decided to get out of the house and do some journaling at a coffee shop. As I mentioned at the start of this video, journaling is one of those habits I really want to focus on and return to consistently. So I figured I'd simply write about what's on my mind and how the first few months of the year have been so far. I was trying to find a word that would encompass my year and what I really want to focus on, and after giving it some thought, I think I landed on the word authenticity as, I guess, my keyword for the year. I really just want to be authentic this year and stop being so critical, let myself be creative, put myself out there, and just try new things without boxing myself in. So if you haven't already chosen a keyword for your year, I feel like this can be a really fun and interesting thing to journal about. On that note, that is where I'm going to wrap up today's video. I'm really looking forward to the warmer months and have a lot of fun videos planned that I'm really excited for. So thank you so much for watching if you've made it up until this point, and I will talk to you in my next video. Bye!